Deuteronomy chapter 1. These, are the epic words Moses totally dropped on all of Israel while they were chilling on the other side of the Jordan, out in this gnarly wilderness zone across from the Red Sea. Between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hazeroth and Dizahab. Total desert vibes. It's an 11-day hike from Horeb if you cruise through Seir on the way to Kadesh Barnea. Not even that far. So, it all went down in year 40, month 11, day 1, when Moses finally gave the people the full lowdown on what God had told him pass along. This was after they totally wrecked Sihon, king of the Amorites in Heshbon, and also took out Og of Bashan, who was hanging at Astaroth and Edrei. It was there on the east side of the Jordan in the land of Moab that Moses started laying down the law. He was like, okay, so the Lord our God totally said to us at Horeb, you guys have been chilling at this mountain way too long. Time to pack it up and bounce. Go hit up the mountains of the Amorites and check out the plains, the valleys, the hills, the southlands, and the coastline, basically all the land of the Canaanites and up to Lebanon, all the way to that mega river, the Euphrates. Look, I'm giving you this land, so go get it. Possess it already. The same land I promised your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all their groms. Then I was all, guys, I can't carry this whole crew by myself anymore. It's way too much. The Lord your God has multiplied you big time. You're as numerous as the stars now. Seriously, it's wild. And may the Lord totally bless you and multiply you 1,000 times more. That would be so fetch. But how am I supposed to handle all your drama and bickering solo? So here's the plan. Pick out some wise, totally respected guys from each tribe, and I'll appoint them as your leaders. And y'all were totally, that sounds awesome. So I handpicked the best of your tribe's smart, trustworthy guys and made them captains over thousands, hundreds, 50s, and 10s, plus some righteous officers too. Then I told your judges, listen up, bros, settle disputes fairly between your fellow Israelites and even the strangers among you. Don't play favorites. Treat everyone the same whether they're a big deal or not. And don't be scared of anyone, because judgment belongs to God. If a case is too gnarly, bring it to me and I'll sort it out. And that's when I laid out all the stuff you needed to do. So when we left Horeb, we cruised through that massive, totally intense wilderness just like God told us, and we ended up at the mountain of the Amorites near Kadesh Barnea, and I said, all right, peeps, this is the mountain zone the Lord our God is hooking us up with. Behold, the Lord your God is giving you the land. Go grab it. Don't freak out or anything, just trust him and go. But then you all came up to me and were so, we're thinking maybe we should send some scouts first to scope it out and tell us the best path and which cities we should hit. So, I was super down with the idea, and I picked 12 guys, one from each tribe, They headed up the mountains and cruised into the valley of Eshcol to scope it out. They snagged some fruit primo stuff and brought it back to us, and we're all, this land is so good. Totally a gift from the Lord. But you guys, total bummer. You straight up refused to go and totally dissed what God said. You were whining in your tents ugh, the Lord must totally hate us, or whatever. He just dragged us out of Egypt to toss us to the Amorites. You were all freaked out. How are we supposed to go in there? The people are giants. Their cities are skyscrapers with walls to heaven. Plus, we totally saw those Anakim guys. But I was chill. Don't freak. Don't be scared. Because the Lord your God, he's got your back. He'll totally fight for you, just like he did back in Egypt. And remember the wilderness road trip? God was carrying you the whole way like a rad dad with his little kiddo. But still, you didn't trust the Lord. Total wipeout in the faith department. And this is the same God who totally scouted the camping spots for you. He lit the way with fire at night and clouds in the day, like your divine GPS. So the Lord heard your grumbling, and dude, he was not stoked. He said, none of this rebellious crew is going to see the gnarly land I promised to your ancestors. Except Caleb, he totally gets it. He followed me for real. He and his kiddos get a slice of land, and God was also super mad at me because of you guys. He was like, sorry bro, you're not going in either. But Joshua, that righteous dude is going to lead the way. Pump him up, because he's going to help Israel totally score that inheritance. Oh, and your little ones, you thought they were going to get wrecked? Nah, they're the ones I'm going to give the land to. But for you peeps, yeah, detour time. Head back toward the Red Sea. Then you were like, oh snap, we messed up big time. Let's fight now. We'll do what God says. So you geared up like you were ready for battle. But God told me, tell them, don't go up, don't fight, because I'm not rolling with them. If they try, they're going to get crushed. So I passed on the message, but classic move, you didn't listen. You stormed the hill anyway. And the Amorites, they swarmed you like a bunch of mad bees and totally wrecked you all the way to Hormah. Harsh. After that, you came back crying to the Lord, but he was like, nah, not hearing it. So yeah, you ended up stuck in Kadesh for forever. Seriously, you just camped there for days and days. Deuteronomy chapter 2. So we turned around and hit the road into the wilderness, cruising along the Red Sea route, just like the Lord told me, and we circled around Mount Seir for days on end. Then the Lord was like, yo, you've been looping this mountain long enough. Time to head north. And he was like, tell the crew, you're about to pass through the land of your bros, the descendants of Esau in Seir. They'll totally be freaked by you, so tread carefully. Don't pick a fight or stir the pot, because I'm not giving you even an inch of their land. I already handed Mount Seir over to Esau's fam. If you want snacks or sips, pay up. Buy your food and your H2O fair and square. Because the Lord your God has totally had your back, like blessing every little thing you've done. He's been vibing with you for 40 years in this wilderness. You haven't even missed a thing. So we passed our bros, the Esau crew, who were chilling in Seir, cruised past Elath and Ezion-Geber, and then looped into the wilderness of Moab. And the Lord was like, don't hassle the Moabites. No fights, no drama. That land's off limits. I already gave the place called Ar to Lot's kids. Back in the day, the land was home to these big OL, dudes called the Eames, super tall, majorly buff Anakim-level giants. The Eames were totally considered giants too, same as the Anakims, but the Moabites just called them Eames, no biggie. Also, the Horites used to live in Seir before the Esau fam took over. They booted them out and settled in, just like Israel did later with the land the Lord gave them. Then I was like, all right, guys, time to cross over the Zered Brook. So we did splish splash and all, and it took 38 years from when we left Kadesh Barnea to finally cross that brook. That whole generation of warriors got totally wiped out, just like the Lord said, because God's hand was totally against them. One by one, they were gone. And once all those guys were toast, the Lord spoke to me again and was like, you're going to pass by Ar today on the edge of Moab. And when you get near the Ammonites, don't mess with them either. Hands off their land. I already hooked Lot's fam up with that area too. So that land, yeah, it was totally a giant zone back in the day. Mega tall dudes lived there. The Ammonites called them Zamzamims. They were gnarly, tons of them, super tall, totally Anakim vibes. But the Lord wiped them out and gave the land to the Ammonites. Same thing happened with the Horites in Seir. God cleared them out for the Esau fam, and they've been chilling there ever since. Oh, and the Avims who were living near Azza, the Kaftarites rolled in from Kaftor, totally crushed them, and claimed that land for themselves. Then God was like, "Rise up, guys, hit the trail and cross over the Arnon River. I'm handing over Sihon, the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his turf. Time to take it and start the showdown. Starting today, I'm putting your rep out there. People are going to hear about you freak out and totally quake in their sandals." So I sent messengers from the wilderness of Kedemoth to King Sihon with a peaceful pitch, saying, "Hey man, can we just pass through your land? We'll stick to the highway. No detours, promise. We'll buy our food and drinks with cash. We're just walking through, no camping out or anything, just like our Esau bros in Seir and the Moabites in Ar let us do. We just want to cross the Jordan into the awesome land our God's giving us." But Sihon, he was not feeling it. God totally hardened his vibe and made him all stubborn so he could hand him over to us. Then God was like, "Check it, I've started giving you Sihon and his land. It's go time. Go claim it." So Sihon came out swinging, him and all his crew, ready to throw down at Jahaz. But the Lord our God was like, "Not today," and he gave Sihon to us. We totally beat him, his sons, and the whole squad. We captured all his cities and left no one, men, women, kiddos, wiped them out completely. But we kept the livestock and took all the city loot for ourselves. Score. From Aroer on the edge of the Arnon to the city in the canyon, all the way to Gilead, no city was too gnarly for us. God handed them all over. But we didn't mess with the land of the Ammonites or any river spots near Jabbok or any mountain cities. Those were off limits because God told us to totally stay out. Deuteronomy chapter 3. So we turned and cruised up the road to Bashan, right? And this mega giant dude, Og, king of Bashan, came out with his whole squad to throw down at Edrei. And the Lord was all, "Don't freak out, bro, I got this. I'm handing Og, his crew, and all his turf over to you. You're going to do to him what you totally did to Sihon, that Amorite king at Heshbon." So boom, our God totally delivered Og and all his peeps into our hands, and we totally stomped them. No survivors, bro. We snagged all his cities, too, like not one was left out. 60 gnarly fortresses in the whole Argob zone of Bashan, part of Og's kingdom. These cities were seriously decked out, like tall fortress walls, iron gates, the works, plus a bunch of small towns with no walls just sprinkled around. We totally wiped them all out, men, women, kids, same as we did with Sihon at Heshbon. But we took all the cattle and loot as souvenirs. I mean, why let that go to waste, right? That's how we ended up owning the turf of those two Amorite kings on this side of the Jordan from the Arnon River all the way up to Mount Hermon. By the way, Mount Hermon's got nicknames. The Sidonians call it Sirion, and the Amorites, they say Shinir. Super regional. We took all the towns on the flatlands, the whole Gilead zone, Bashan, and places like Salca and Edrei, basically all of Og's crib. Oh, and FYI, Og was the last of the giants. His bed, total beast mode, iron and 9 cubits long. That's super tall. Check it out in Rabbath if you don't believe me. So, this land we scored from Aroer by the Arnon River and half of Mount Gilead with its cities. I totally gave that to the Reuben and Gad squads. And the rest of Gilead, plus all of Bashan, which used to be Og's kingdom, aka giant territory, I hooked that up for the half-tribe of Manasseh. Jair, son of Manasseh, was like, "I'll take this whole Argob area." And he named it after himself, super humble, right? He called it Bashan Haveth Jair, and it still goes by that name. And Makir, he got Gilead. Solid move, bro. So, to the Reubenite bros and the Gadite guys, I gave all the land from Gilead to the Arnon River, that whole valley stretch, up to the Jabbok River, right where the Ammonite border kicks in. They also scored the plain, the Jordan stretch, and the full-on coast from the Sea of Galilee, aka Chinnereth, down to the salty sea of the plain under Ashdod-Pisgah, totally on the east side. And I was like, okay guys, listen up. God totally handed you this land, but you've got to suit up and roll out before your Israelite brothers. Anyone fit for battle, grab your gear. But like your ladies, kiddos, and the mountain of moo cows you've got, yeah, they can totally chill in the cities I gave you until the dust settles. Once your bros are living large and at peace just like you and have settled into their promised turf across the Jordan, you can bounce back to your own pad that I handed over. And I told Joshua, bro, you saw with your own eyes how the Lord laid the smackdown on those two kings, right? That's just a sneak peek of what he's going to do to all the other kingdoms you're going to roll through. So, don't trip. God's got your back in this fight. And then Moses, totally pleaded with the Lord at that time. I was like, oh Lord God, you've just started showing me how awesome and powerful you are. Like, you're doing big-time God moves. Who else in the entire universe even comes close to your vibes? Please let me cross over and catch a glimpse of that gnarly promised land, that epic mountain zone, and those sweet cedar-covered hills of Lebanon. But the Lord was super not having it and was mad because of you all, and he totally shut me down. He said, that's enough, dude. Don't bring this up again. Climb up to the top of Mount Pisgah and take a long, hard look in every direction. Soak it in, because that's as close as you're gonna get. You're not crossing the Jordan, my dude. Instead, hand things off to Joshua. Hype him up, give him all the good vibes, because he's the one who's going to lead the crew over and help him score that promised turf. And so, we just camped out in the valley near Bethbeer and soaked in the moment. Deuteronomy chapter 4. So hey, Israel, tune in. These are the rules and righteous vibes I'm laying down. Do them so you can live your best life and totally move into the land the Lord, your ancestors' big-time God, is giving you. Don't remix his words. No add-ons, no cutouts. Just keep it real and obey exactly what the Lord your God laid down. You've seen what went down with Balpeer, right? Like, everyone who partied with that fake God got wiped out by the Lord. Harsh, but you all who stayed tight with the Lord, you're alive and vibing today. Righteous. Look, I've been teaching you these epic rules, just like the Lord my God told me. So when you hit that promised land, you know what to do. Keep these commandments. That's how you'll show off your brain power and good vibes to the world. Other nations are going to be like, whoa, those people are totally wise and super deep. I mean, seriously, what other nation has a God so close and totally reachable every time they call? It's a maze. And what other nation has laws this just and rad? Like, these are the gold standard, folks. Guard your soul vibes. And don't forget what you've seen with your own eyes. Keep this fire in your heart and pass it on to your kids and their kids. Especially remember that day at Horeb when the Lord told me, gather the crew so they can hear me speak and learn to live in awe and teach their grums too. You all came close to the mountain, and it was literally on fire, all the way up to heaven, dark clouds, heavy vibes, intense energy. And from the middle of that fire, the Lord spoke. You didn't see him, just heard his voice. Like a voice with zero visuals. Mysterious, right? He laid out the covenant, the big 10 commandments, and carved them into 2 stone tablets. Total rock-solid contract. And then he told me to teach you all the rules, so you'd be ready to crush it in the promised land. So be extra careful. You didn't see any shape or form that day on the mountain. Like, don't even think about trying to sculpt him into something. Don't mess it up by making carved images like guys or gals, or animals on land, or birds cruising the sky, or bugs crawling around, or fish chilling in the ocean. Just know, and don't look up at the sun, moon, and stars and be like, whoa, I should totally worship that. The Lord gave that cosmic stuff to all nations. It's not your spiritual bae, but you're his special crew. He brought you out of Egypt, out of that blazing furnace of slavery, and made you his own people. So cool. And, by the way, he got super mad at me because of you guys and swore I couldn't go into the promised land. Major bummer. So yeah, I'm not crossing the Jordan. I'm gonna die here. But you all, you're gonna roll into that awesome land and make it your own. So, seriously, watch yourselves. Don't forget the covenant, and definitely don't go carving stuff to worship. That's a no-go. Because the Lord your God, he's like a blazing bonfire of passion and love, but also totally jealous. He wants your whole heart, not just your weekend vibes. So like when you've got kids and grandkids and you've totally been chilling the land for a long time, but then you start getting all weird, like making carved idols and doing gnarly stuff that ticks off the Lord, I'm calling heaven and earth to witness, bro. You're gonna be totally wiped out from the land you're crossing the Jordan take. No extended vacui there, you'll be toast. The Lord's gonna scatter you, and you'll be this tiny group among strangers, totally out of your element. And there, you'll end up worshiping lame knockoff gods, like wooden statues that can't even hear or sniff or do anything. But if you really seek the Lord with all your heart and soul, you'll totally find him. When stuff hits the fan and life gets intense, even way down the road, if you turn back and actually listen to his voice, because the Lord your God is totally merciful and chill, he's not going to ghost you or break his promises he made to your ancestors. So, like, think way back, like all the way to when God made people on earth. Has anything this major ever gone down before? Like, from one end of the sky to the other? Has any group of people ever heard God talking straight out of fire and actually lived to tell the tale? Did any God ever roll up and rescue a nation from another nation, using miracles, drama, wild signs, epic battles, and full-on power moves? That's what your God did in Egypt. He showed you all that so you totally get it. There's only one God, and he's it. He let you hear his voice from the clouds and lit up the sky with heavenly fire. That's how he gave you instructions straight up. Because he was totally vibing with your ancestors, he picked you, like you, to be his people. And he flexed hard to get you out of Egypt. He straight up cleared out nations way bigger and badder than you, just to hand you their turf as a gift. So, like, lock this in your heart today. The Lord is God, sky above, earth below. He's the only one on the roster. So obey his rules and commandments. That way, life's going to be sweet for you and your kiddos, and you'll live a long, chill life in the land the Lord's handing over forever. Then Moses set up 3 chill zones, like cities of refuge east of the Jordan. So, if someone accidentally off their neighbor, no beef, no drama, they could bolt there and stay alive. There was Bezer for the Reubenites, Ramoth in Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan for the Manassites. Safe zones, yo. And this right here, this is the law Moses dropped on Israel. These are the stories, the rules, the deep teachings Moses laid down after they pieced out of Egypt. He laid it out in the valley near Bethpeor in the land Sion used to rule. Yeah, that Amorite king at Heshbon. Moses and the crew took him out after the Exodus. They snagged his land and Og's land too, 2 Amorite kings from the east side of the Jordan. From Aroer by the Arnon River to Mount Shaun, A.K. Hermon, and all that lowland stretch east of the Jordan, from the Sea of the Arabah all the way to the springs of Pisgah, like prime real estate. Deuteronomy chapter 5. Hey, Israel, listen up. I'm going to lay down the rules and righteous judgments the Lord gave me, so you can learn them, live by them, and totally rock them in the land you're about to snag. So the Lord made this mega pact with us back at Horeb, not just with our ancestors, but with us, the squad that's still breathing today. The Lord totally chatted with you face to face in that fiery mountain zone. I had to step in as the middle guy because y'all were totally freaked out by the fire and didn't want to go up the mountain. So here's what he said. I'm the Lord your God, remember me? I totally rescued you from Egypt, that gnarly house of bondage. No other gods, just me, like full exclusivity vibes. Don't be crafting any idols or carved stuff, no matter how chill it looks. Sky, land, sea, doesn't matter. And don't bow to those poser gods or give them your service. I'm the Lord and I don't share affection. I'll be calling out the bad vibes even 3 or 4 generations deep if you ghost me. But I'll pour out major love to the thousands who totally love me and stick to my commandments. Don't drop my name in vain. Dude, that's super not cool. I won't just let that slide. Keep the Sabbath holy. It's a full-on chill day, just like I told you. Grind your work for 6 days, but the 7th, total rest day. For you, your fam, your crew, your animals, and even your guests. Everyone gets a day off, Don't forget, you used to be slaves in Egypt, and I busted you out with some serious God strength. That's why you honor the Sabbath, bro. Honor your folks, dude. That's straight from the Lord. If you do, you'll have a long and sweet ride in the land he's giving you. No killing, obviously. No cheating on your honey, either. And don't steal, duh. Don't go lying about your neighbor, it's not the vibe. And don't be all jelly over your neighbor's spouse, house, workers, animals, or anything that's theirs. Those are the words God thundered out loud from the fire, clouds, and thick darkness. And that was it. Then he carved them into 2 stone tablets and handed them to me. So when you heard his voice through the firestorm, you all came running up to me, tribal leaders and elders, and said, "Whoa, the Lord just showed us his epic glory and greatness, and we totally heard him speak. God talked to us and we're still breathing. But also, if we keep hearing his booming voice, we're gonna drop dead from the intensity. Seriously, who's ever heard God talking from fire and lived to tell the tale? So, like Moses, you go hear the rest and tell us what he says. We promise to totally listen and do it." And the Lord heard you and was like, "Okay, that's actually a solid plan." He was like, "Oh man, if only they'd keep this vibe forever, respecting me and sticking with my commandments, that would make their lives so awesome, and their kids too." So he told me, "Go tell them to head back to their tents." And then he was like, "You, Moses, stay here with me, and I'll give you all the commandments and righteous laws to teach them, so they can live it out in the land I'm giving them. So, don't mess around, just do what the Lord says. No detours, no swerves. Walk the way he laid out, so you can live your best life, have a smooth ride, and hang out in the land he's giving you for the long haul." Deuteronomy chapter 6. Okay, listen up, y'all. These are the commandments, statutes, and judgments the Lord your God totally told me to teach you. You gotta actually do them when you get to that rad land you're gonna inherit. It's so you'll totally respect the Lord and keep all his awesome rules, you, your kiddos and their kiddos, so your life stays long and chill. So, Israel, listen up and obey, because if you do, things will go super well, and you'll grow like major big, just like the Lord promised in that milk and honey flowing paradise. Yo, Israel, the Lord is our God. He's the only one for real. You gotta love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and every ounce of energy you've got. Keep these words I'm dropping in your heart deep, deep down. Teach them to your kids on repeat. Talk about them when you're chilling at home, cruising around, getting ready for bed, or when you're just waking up. Wrap them on your hands, put them between your eyes, keep them close, bro. Scribble them on your doorposts and gates. Like, make them part of your daily vibe. So, when the Lord gets you into this sweet land He promised your ancestors, with cities you didn't even build, and houses stocked with all the good stuff, like you didn't even lift a finger, wells you didn't dig, vineyards and olive trees you didn't plant, when you're totally full, don't forget the Lord. Dude, He's the one who saved you from Egypt, like out of slavery. You gotta respect the Lord your God. Serve Him only, and if you're gonna swear, do it in His name, all right? Don't chase after other poser gods from around the neighborhood, because the Lord your God is super jealous, and if you tick Him off, He'll rage, and it won't be cute. You'll be toast. Don't test the Lord like you did at Massa. Yikes, remember that? Stick to His commandments and testimonies like glue. Obey what He said, like all of it. Do what's right and good in His eyes, so your life stays chill, and you get to move in and own the promised land. And He'll totally take out your enemies before you, like no stress. He said He'd handle it. So, when your kiddo's like, what's the deal with all these rules and stuff the Lord gave us? You tell him, we were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, and the Lord totally busted us out with a gnarly display of power. He dropped crazy signs and freaky wonders on Egypt and Pharaoh right in front of us. Then He brought us out of there, so He could bring us into this rad land He promised our ancestors. And the Lord gave us these commandments for our good, to keep us alive and thriving like we are now. And if we stick to all these rules, we'll totally be in the right with God, like legit righteous. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Okay, so like when the Lord your God brings you into that epic land you're going to own and totally boots out all those super intense nations, Hittites, Girgashites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, like 7 squads that are way bigger and scarier than you. And when He hands them over to you, you gotta totally wipe them out. No deals, no mercy, just boom, done. Oh, and don't even think about marrying into their crew. Like, no swapping daughters and sons. Because if you do, they'll totally pull your fam away from me, and then they'll start worshiping bogus gods, and I'll be majorly ticked, like destroy you on the spot kind of mad. So here's what you do. Smash their altars, wreck their idols, chop down their sacred trees, and light those creepy statues on fire. Seriously, torch them. You guys are my chosen squad. Super special, set apart, holy vibes only. Out of all the people on Earth, I picked you. And not because you were some huge crowd or super impressive. You were actually the smallest crew. But I love you, and I made a pinky promise to your ancestors. So I showed up strong and freed you from Pharaoh's gnarly grip. So just know this. The Lord your God is the real deal, totally faithful, and keeps His promises forever for those who love Him and follow His rules. But if someone's totally hating on Him, He pays them back to their face, like boom, no hesitation. So you better keep the commandments and all the stuff I'm telling you today. Just do it. If you actually listen and do this stuff, the Lord your God will totally keep His promise to you, like covenant-level commitment, just like He swore to your ancestors. He'll totally love you, bless you, and multiply everything, like your kids, your crops, your wine, your oil, your cows, your sheep, all of it, in that super dreamy land He promised. You'll be extra blessed. No infertility, not for people or animals. It's gonna be thriving city, bro, and He'll keep you healthy too. Like none of those nasty Egyptian diseases you remember. He'll dump that junk on your enemies instead. And those enemies the Lord hands over, yeah, you gotta take them out. No pity. And definitely don't start vibing with their gods. Total trap alert. If you're like, whoa, these nations are huge. How are we gonna handle them? Don't freak, dude. Just remember what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and all of Egypt. epic miracles, right? You saw it, the plagues, the signs, the rescue mission with fire and strength. Well, guess what? He's going to do that same energy to all your enemies too. Plus, the Lord's going to send hornets or something freaky to chase them down. They'll be toast. So don't be scared. The Lord your God is with you, and he's wildly powerful. He'll clear out those nations bit by bit, though, not all at once, because if he didn't, the wild animals would overrun the place. But don't stress, the Lord will still give you the win. He'll crush those nations, one by one. Even their kings are going down. No one's going to be able to stand up to you. Total wipeout. And their little idol statues? Burn them. Don't even think about taking their gold or silver bling. It's cursed, and it'll totally mess you up. Don't bring any of their junk into your house, or you'll get cursed too. No chill. Hate it. Reject it. It's a cursed dumpster fire.